begins. So I'm here with Geraldine Opoka. Is it good, the surname? Opoka, right?
Opoka, yes.
From Uganda, right?
Uganda, Kampala.
Kampala, yes, because Africa is very big. And eventually I connected with Jerry from another place. I believe there was a group. Do you remember where we connected in the beginning?
Yes, it was in the Gaia group. I made a comment to a post about a healing something, and then that's how we met.
Wow. So from just a comment on social media.
Just a comment on social media.
And that comment, I saw your spirit there and I connected with you just with one comment. And you weren't even friends with me. We just became friends because of that comment.
No, not know you then.
So then it evolved. We follow each other. I know you are into weight management and you love dancing. You love plants. And
yes, I do.
You love nature, and from Africa, I expect it, So, and in return, I give you what I have, I have my family, I have my. There are mutual interests as well, so I love plants too. And today we connected. It's funny because we connected because I saw the Legend of Tarzan, the recent one. I actually already saw it before, but before we sleep, my daughter likes to see something and then she sleeps like that. And then she told me, I want to see Tarzan. She's just 4. And I follow her spirit, and actually I saw it. And there was a scene in the end that there was Tarzan and Jane, who eventually had a baby. And there was this very, very, very small scene in Africa that there were midwives, right? Or how can we say, like, not midwives, maybe there
birth attendants.
Tell me again.
Like birth attendants, traditional birth attendants.
Yes. And eventually they were like singing while bringing the baby to the father. And this experience, I just went back again and saw it again, went back again, saw it again. And when I saw it for I don't know how many times, Jerry came to my mind. And sometimes my spirits are a bit strange. I don't know why, but from all the people in Africa or in the world, because it doesn't mean you need to go in Africa, but Jerry came to my vision. I envisioned you. And I said, and eventually we spoke about the idea that if this is still happening in Africa, because I see it's like something that is lost. And we are losing many of our primitive traditions. Some of them we really need to get over with them because some things we really need to update them. But the idea is, are we going in a progressive reality, or are we going in a regress reality? Because progress is not just technology. Yes, thank you, whoever created this technology, because thanks to him or her, I am connected in Africa right now. So thank you. This is a progress. But we are here to discuss about something that it shouldn't be lost, right? So if you can share, first, you can share exactly what are your interests, because I didn't give you enough time to explain yourself. And speak about this idea of when there's this birth of the child, there is this birth attendants that eventually they sing, and this is actually happening or not, so the people can know.
Right. Thank you, Alex. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here, speaking with you. I mean, what are the odds that that comment would bring us to this place, and especially to discuss a topic like this that is so close to my heart right now. So I was really pleased when you asked me. Yes, I'm Jerry Opoka. I'm a dance fitness enthusiast, and I run a dance fitness business. I'm a Zumba instructor. I'm also a mental health advocate and champion. I went to dance in our national mental hospital with the patients. It really was just a crazy idea to say, I wonder what it would be like. Would they like the music? I wanted to dance with the people who were struggling with addiction, but I ended up dancing with the other patients who, had other mental health challenges. And right from that one class, it completely changed my world, like completely. Just seeing how much of themselves they gave to us that day, and how open. By the time the class was over, we were hugging each other, we were in each other's armpits, taking selfies. I kept saying, we can't take your pictures. They were like, please. And it was so, so powerful and so beautiful. But it led me to ask questions, which interestingly have brought me to this moment today. I started asking, what does it mean when somebody is mentally ill? When somebody is, for lack of a better word, we used to say when a person is mad, what does that mean? What is happening in their mind that we do not see? And what if, God forbid, what they are experiencing is truth? What if it's real and we just cannot understand it because it's not happening to us? How lonely will their lives be for the rest of their existence? And that sent me on a spiral of trying to understand who we are as spirit, because I always thought when someone is suffering from a mental illness, there is a spiritual aspect to what they're going through. Either it's a disconnect between them and their higher self, or their higher self has been compromised with negative entities, or, I just thought about all these things, and I thought maybe this is what is happening to them that we do not understand. And it led me then to ask myself, who am I as an African person, and especially as an African woman? Then I started going back and trying to understand what our culture is really about. I started appreciating words like going back to your roots. And I thought, when a tree, they say things like, when a tree has roots that are deep, it is firm, it cannot be blown. And then I thought, I have not been to my village, my hometown, in 33 years. I want to go. And I just up and went. And I could have sworn that I heard whispers of my ancestors. I could have sworn that something clicked inside of me, and I wanted to know more. I knew then that when we are not strongly rooted in our heritage, in who we are, then we suffer. Then we are blown by the winds of life. We struggle. We are neither here nor there. And especially now that we are very global, I could get lost in social media where I'm seeing technology-wise, I am in America all the time. And I want to live like an American, speak like an American, eat like an American. And I forget that I'm an Acholi. And I never go back to eat food that is natural to me. Just immerse myself in things that are natural to me. So I found that to be so powerful. And so I wanted to know, why is this village called what it is called? Why, what are the cultural practices? And the more I wanted to know, the more I heard things. And it started helping me understand when people are mentally ill today, what do we do with them? And when they were mentally ill back then, what did they do with them? It was very different. And since then, I just have been fascinated with anything that is deeply rooted in culture, anything that is deeply rooted in our heritage or any other heritage. I also know now that every single culture in this world had at one point their own practices that had a spiritual significance, because they recognized that this physical body is very much a part of the spiritual body, the same spiritual body, which is what we've lost now. So that is, yes.
Wow. I wrote some, because while I listen, I love to like meditate, and whatever comes to my mind, I put like notes.
Yeah.
We'll speak. I don't know where are you ready to speak, because and I don't know how much time you have.
No, I can give you time. I love this. I love this so much. Time. You
Okay.
asked me, I thought about the video
Yes.
of the child, being lifted up, right?
Yes.
So when you sent me that video, I thought to myself, why is he asking me? Because why is he asking me something that I really, really want to talk about? And when I listened to your question, I thought, because I first of all thought you were asking, does this practice still happen? Do you think this practice did it make any sense to you? And so I wasn't sure where you were coming from, but I just thought, anyway, let me tell you what I thought. And then I did. But what for me, what it stands for is that the child, first of all, birth attendants are there, and because there was no modern medicine, they used a lot of herbal concoctions to bring forth this child. A lot of those herbal concoctions were to balance the physical body of the mother, but also the spiritual, the energy around the space where this child was going to be born. And when the child was born...
Can I stop you there? Sorry.
Yes.
What is hoboko? Ho?
Opa.
The tinctures that you said, the tinctures. Ho?
The what?
Because you said they use the certain tinctures.
Oh, no, concoctions.
Concoction.
Yes.
And you said
yes,
something, a word, another word. There is a name of these.
No, I said they use concoctions and herbs.
And herbs. All right.
Yes.
Because I saw it like a whole word. Sorry, please. Excuse me.
No, so they did this to balance the energy around where this child was going to be born. So that when the child was born, they were ready. They were ready energetically to receive this child. And when the child is born and they come out of the heart, hold the baby up, and they're screaming and they're singing, this is the first sound that this baby hears, okay? And the baby is immediately immersed in high vibrational energy. they're vibrating at a very high frequency, and they're excited. They welcome this child, hold the child up and sing and so on and so forth. I'm very sure that that does something to the spirit of that child, to just be welcomed like that, like they've not come into, the cold or misery. They have come into a bright and beautiful place. The entire village knows that a baby has been born, and everyone in their own way is celebrating and piling that positive energy onto that child who has been born. So that is what I felt. And I'll tell you that while we don't have people practicing that anymore, because traditional birth attendants have since been made illegal. They've been banned for so many reasons, but there are other practices that are still being done. Today, after a baby is born, in our culture here, a lot of these herbs are collected and boiled, and so the water is cooled together with the herbs in it. The baby is then bathed inside the herbs. I mean, they boil it so much that the water is literally a very, very dark green. And they put the baby in there and take the herbs or place the herbs on the baby, just, sort of like sponge the baby with them while they speak words, positive words into this child, basically affirmations. And it took me so many years to realize what that practice was. We thought it was a bad practice and we avoided it. But in this season that I've been going back and trying to understand what it is, I was blown away by the power of what that is. First of all, they pick very specific herbs that if you look up the spiritual virtue of these herbs, even on YouTube, on the internet, on Google, they are herbs whose spiritual virtue is all sorts of positive things, all kinds of blessings, all kinds of good energy, all kinds of favor, okay? And so when they take these herbs and wash the baby in them, they speak these words and they say, this child, you are successful. Say, Jerry, you are successful. You are a joy. You are a blessing to everyone you come. This. So the grandmother is saying all these words, and that whole process is the word for it. The local word for it is the herbs are called echogero, and echogero is literally words being spoken. And I learned now that what they were doing is activating the spiritual virtue of these herbs through their mouths. They take the herb and they say, this child is this. So the herb has to do its work on that child and give that child favor, give that child joy, give that child good health, and so on and so forth. I was blown away. And I wished I could go and soak myself in those herbs again, so that I can say those words.
Sometimes the thoughts are so much beyond our logical thinking, and you say, but is this possible? What is Jenny talking about? From someone who doesn't understand the plants, the affirmations, the spirit, if they even believe in the spirit. And I believe in many types of spirits. I believe that the plants has their own spirit, the animals have their own spirit, and the human beings have their own spirit. Even the water has a spirit. So what is the difference in between? And why they don't use an animal instead of a plant? So I believe that plants have a powerful idea of being firm in doing what they do. It's coming to my mind, bamboo. Bamboo, once you see the bamboo, it always goes straight. Like there is this bamboo and goes always up, as straight as possible. And this is something that it's genetically in every seed. And once you give this information to a human being, you focus. So the plant is the plant spirit is telling you, focus, be firm on what you need and prioritize. The animals and the human beings are a bit more fluctuating. They are not so firm. They are not fixed. And they are not grounded in the soil like plants. So that's why we need a combination of a human being spirit and the plant spirit. And together, not separate, together, they can do great things. So this is something very beautiful, because these affirmations through the spirit of the herbs, they are giving information to the baby on a cellular level and on a spiritual level. And when you think about the spirit, when we work on the spirit, we doesn't work on the present, just on the present. We also work on the whole system, like the past and the future, because there is also, I don't know if you believe about the idea of reincarnation. So if there is an issue with the past life, so we need to work also on the past spirit, and actually these affirmations that are being heard by all the local community will give a blessing in the present and in the future. So this is something that we maybe are not, the people in general are not understanding, that this practice and the babies and the idea of the birth and what are we giving as an example is just a reflection of everything. It's not just about the baby being born,
Yes.
and the people taking care of the baby. We are seeing this as a reflection on everything, whatever we do. You know, if we begin to go to school the first time, it's like we are giving birth to knowledge. Or when we go to give service, we are giving birth to give service for the first time. And that first time, it's something that our mind keeps, and our heart as well, and our spirit as well. So it's something that it's like your first relationship. If you had something, a trauma in your first relationship, whether it's with a human being, a plant, or a place, then it's like there's a phobia, you know, it activates this phobia. So this is something that what we are speaking about, it's something that we are working on understanding how this practice of the new age is putting the people, because you spoke about mental health. And you know, one day I made a meditation, and it came to me that everybody suffers from a level of depression.
Yes.
There is not, I am not depressed. I don't suffer of depression. And this is actually not true. I don't know if you can hear me, Jerry, because you're stuck. No.